I'm Felipe Jaramillo. I'm the CEO of Aplyca. We are an Ibexa partner, and we've been working with the technology for over 15 years. And I'm glad to be joined by Max Sihvonen. Max, you have to pronounce your name. I know it's harder to pronounce.
Yeah, difficult to pronounce. So that was a good effort already.
He's the CCO of Quantum Group.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role, and first where you come from.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe we'll start on a personal basis. Yeah, I have a mixed Nordic background. I was originally born in Finland, but spent some of my childhood in Germany, and then much of my childhood and early adult years in Stockholm. And then I met a lovely Norwegian who's now my wife, and I moved over to Oslo around 9 years ago, and have been there ever since. And a little bit on the professional side. Come from a consulting background, worked in strategy and tactical consulting, a lot in the tech industry, and then that led me really 5 years ago to join another MarTech company, a Norwegian-based called Paperfly in the brand management sphere, and was working in different leadership roles there, mainly around growth, so leading marketing, sales, customer success. And then, I was brought into an opportunity around 7 months ago now to join Quantum, which is the group of which Ibexa is a part of as Chief Commercial Officer, to really expand on the value offering that I'm sure we're going to speak about in a little bit time. But yeah, super excited to be here, and also as part of this Ibexa Summit today, which has been really great, I think.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell us more about Quantum. I think, first of all, it's spelled...
It's QNTM.
All right.
It's pronounced Quantum. Yeah.
Okay, so what is Quantum for people that don't know it?
Yes, so Quantum was founded 4 years ago, and it's a MarTech group. So through the last 4 years, we've been bringing in European MarTech companies into the group, really with the theme of which are the companies that are offering solutions within customer experience, personalization, supporting the marketeer in their journey to getting to know their customer in the best possible way, and also activating different marketing initiatives towards that customer, right? So we've brought together different software, and what we want to do is really position Quantum as a composable group, offering a lot of different tools that are great in their technology. So maybe compared to the bigger suites that we don't have an agenda of branding everything in one brand and bringing everything together in one suite solution. Rather, we believe in the value of relevance of each product, right? So Ibexa is a great example of this, really taking on the DXP space, challenging really a lot of the incumbents there with a clear value proposition around customer experience, right? From homepage to everything that is around that, and really bringing in that sort of digitalization opportunity into the fold. And similarly, we have with Actito a great marketing automation tool that helps everything from email marketing to omnichannel marketing, and they're really competitive in that space. So we'd like to keep the brands like that, because when customers are seeing those, they see exactly what is the problem they solve and how can they solve it together with the software. So from a Quantum perspective, we're addressing the challenge that a lot of marketeers have been facing in the last few years, which is I have all this opportunity to buy a lot of products that can help me, but how am I managing all of this, right? Who is integrating this for me? Like who is taking care of data for me? How are my users getting trained on all these platforms? And then it's even the contracts, right? Maybe if I have 10 vendors that I have within my MarTech stack, I have 10 contracts, I have 10 customer success managers calling me around different opportunities. So I think that's what drives a lot of customers to the suite solutions. But on that side, you have the challenge that you get locked in, right? If you choose, not going to name the names, but I think kind of like the bigger ones. When you want to use a specialized solution outside, it's really hard, right? Because it's all connected to that one suite, and you get the benefits that are clearly there of, no product overlaps, no integration needs, but you're also locked into really having to use all of those platforms. And I think that's where we can come in, because we want to see if we cannot be that hybrid solution where we offer, all of our products on a standalone basis, but really well integrated. So we're working a lot on our product integration level to make it as seamless as possible, always with the rule that within the Quantum group, we need to have the best integrations possible across it. We're still integration
That's a
friendly.
huge challenge, right?
It is. It's probably one of the biggest business challenges in terms of making this work is, what is really a premium integration? What does it entail? We've defined it around authentication, so user rights. We define it around navigation, UI, UX, data for the user, so accessible of data, no data duplicates, and then the last one is in the back-end data synchronization, right? So I think those are typically the integration challenges, right?
But how many companies are in the Quantum group?
We're 8 companies.
8 companies
right now, yeah.
And I think you are adding companies as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, we have this strategy of adding where it makes sense. So we're not trying to add any overlapping companies, but we like to add to anything along this sort of marketing technology within the customer journey, from data collection, data management in the CDP or the PIM Quabble that we just bought into the group, to activation through a DXP marketing automation software. We have an e-commerce solution called Biscuit as well. So anything along that line, which I think will include analytics at some point as well, web optimization, things like that. That's what we're focusing on acquiring customers, and then have a clear framework. We call it Quantum Harmony, around like what do we do on a quantum level together? What does every company adhere to deliver? It's integrations, it's still product innovation on their own, and some commercial alignment. But then other than that, they're free to do what they think is best in terms of market opportunity and so forth.
Max, and what do you look for as you are evaluating companies? You probably have, dozens of companies that you've had to look into in this space. What are you evaluating?
I think number one is fit in this sort of flow. So like having a fit in terms of technology that is adaptable, that makes sense in terms of looking at our customers' MarTech stack, what kind of components are in there, and how can we add another component that we currently don't have in our stack. The second criteria is, of course, does it make sense from an industrial focus, ideal customer profile point of view? So we're more in the mid-size to enterprise segment when we look at all of our companies and what we're delivering, more complex kind of situations on the customer side with a lot of differentiations in the customer group. So we're not going after maybe the small SME players, because they don't have the complexity in their customer base that fits with the rest. And then third is, of course, all these financial elements that our M&A team is managing, where there's, growth opportunity, financial stability, that it fits also in that journey. Yeah.
Man, and what happens when a firm joins the group? Like the first few months and in the first year, what do you see?
Yeah, I think that's where we've developed a lot as well in terms of creating kind of an integration blueprint of what happens. It depends a little bit on the company as well, and how we see what makes most sense from a short and a long-term perspective. But certainly it's kind of this adaptation into our framework, right? So there is financial reporting, first and foremost, is aligned so that our CFO and everyone knows kind of everything that's going on. Second part is like identifying the core product integrations that we need to drive commercial value for the customer. In the end, it's all about that. Can we add more to our existing customers, and in terms of opportunity, can we win new customers together because we're connecting? And then it's the kind of business operations alignment, right? And it's everything from how do we sell together? We're implementing the kind of a common definition of everything within the CRM system. I mean, it's just process, but it helps. Like if we look at, a sales process and a deal stage, we're actually knowing it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So these sort of things, and then regional alignment, team alignment where it makes sense. So there is a blueprint, but it's not like every, all sizes are the same, or everything fits in the same way. Yeah.
But Max, and what would you describe as being the main benefit for an end customer, for a firm considering getting into these technologies, either through one of the firms of the group? What is the advantage of dealing with companies from the Quantum group, or having or seeing the company, that the vendor that you're using, get acquired by Quantum? What can they expect?
Well, I think it's all about this sort of the flexibility and having some flexibility in which products you're choosing, and they not always have to be within the Quantum stack. We're integration friendly to the other ones. But once you choose one of the Quantum products, you know that if I choose another one, I get more benefits of it. One, I get really strong integration. 2, I get commercial and customer delivery alignment, right? So we're always offering 1 contract option, right? 1 support option and 1 customer success option, right? So once you enter and become at another of the quantum companies, your existing customer manager, your existing support team is still the only one you need to speak to. So what we call is like the suite-like elements, right? That make your life a little bit easier. And then thirdly, we've been really focused on, especially for our European customers, on European data compliance, GDPR. So every time you add another quantum company, you know that we have the same standards when it comes to compliance and managing really everything in terms of GDPR and so forth, which is of course core to staying on the right side of things when it comes to marketing operations today in Europe. Yeah, so those are the key things. And then for customers, if they don't like one of our products anymore, they don't need to cancel all of the contracts. We'll take it out and it will still work with everything else. So that is
they're not locked in.
They're not locked in. Now we want to keep them, that's for sure. But if they decide not to, then it's also okay. Yeah.
Something I noticed is that customers can get a lot of awareness around the possibilities, even if they are not at the stage that they want to, pull the trigger and go ahead.
Yeah.
So you have some sort of, roadmap for the client to consider in terms of the platforms that adapt to their maturity level and to their
exactly. Yeah. I mean, certainly. I mean, I would say most of our products play to customers that have a certain level of maturity reached already, but they're also feeling the pain points that are coming up there in terms of really driving data strategy and customer management in that direction. So what we want to, of course, show them is the opportunity landscape all the time in terms of, okay, if you, for example, have, we took the example that was mentioned yesterday, you are in a DXP world, but you'd like to be even more personalized in your offering, whether it is a homepage visit feels differently and based on who you are as a customer on your profile, then a CDP is such a strong component to help you create that, right? So you're capturing the data, you're sorting through these customer profiles, and then you're using these individual profiles to have sections in your homepage that are personalized for that view. So every visitor gets basically an own view of the homepage that they're visiting, depending on who they are as a person. I think those are kind of like the more advanced things that are going to be possible. And then if we look one step further, of course, we want to be in the forefront of AI enablement as well. Now I'm speaking probably a little bit more futuristic, but how I see quantum working on top in terms of integration layer, it could be some orchestration, right? AI orchestration, meaning you don't need to, if you look at our journey today, you're clicking through your way through the different products, you're clicking and moving into the different ones, you're capturing different things, whether it's a campaign or something from one place to another, but it is still a click and choose project. If we could set up a layer where you just ask for these things to work for you, that could be another thing that sets us in a good position and helps our customers mainly to create more value. So that's what we're looking into right now.
That was my next question. Yeah. It's how far along are you in terms of achieving that vision of getting a portfolio of companies that support customers along those different areas?
Yeah,
so
that's
so maybe you can.
I would say that's drawing. That's in our drawing stage, but we want to get into a delivery stage on that as soon as we can figure out what the right level is, right? And I think especially orchestration is so early right now. So what does it mean? What is the pure value for customers? We need to really dig down on that level, while we, of course, which we're already doing, delivering AI enablement for actual making the life easier of our customers in terms of easier automation on the different features and functionalities that are around. But yeah, as soon as possible, I would say, but because that's something that I think will be on everyone's demand. We don't want to click software anymore at some point in time. I think we want to see the results to a much larger degree than having to go through the settings and build the different things that is the world today, right? Yeah.
Max, thank you so much for spending time with me and share your perspective.
Yeah, thank you very much. Pleasure.